Hi, brothers. Once again, it's Carl Ellis here from the Voice of Healing. Thank you so much for joining. I just wanted to come online just to wish you guys all a beautiful weekend. What can I say? Life is so precious. Life is such a gift, and every moment that you experience that life, you should give thanks. Every time you can fog a mirror, you're breathing out. You can say thank you to God, to the universe, for this wonderful opportunity. Um, Life is just incredible when you look at what's going on in the world at the moment, how people are treating each other. You know, the dislike we have for each other. Um, the programming, which is really a very important factor. I believe that we are akin to computers. And, without getting too technical, I believe that we're not born with a blank slate. I don't believe that. I believe there's such things as epigenetics that, it effectively passes through the blood of the mother and father, obviously. And then, we can come up with certain kind of idiosyncrasies and traits of our parents, and even I would even dare say even uh, ancestors, and going deep, deep, deep. And that's how we. There's so much that even scientists don't know. Um, and I heard something. He was a UFC fighter, and he was saying that his two friends had passed, and they took their own lives, which is extremely. It's so sad. I always ask myself, how far does one have to go down that hole where there's no other way out? You know, it just begs the question. Does it have to go so far down that rabbit hole that you cannot see a way out? And it hurts me. It really does, because that was me probably 10 years ago. When it was everything was just so bad. And I think as well, I think we also struggle from, or some men, they call it middle age crisis. I'm beginning to think it's like a menopause. We should call it something like a woman pause. You know, and I feel that there's hormones and certain things that are just rushing, that it's not been researched, and it hasn't been kind of understood that this is what men go through as well in life, and hitting a certain age of 40, 50. You start to realize you have more years behind you. You know what I mean? And so it becomes quite it can become um, into the mindset of, oh my God, I don't really care anymore because I'm going to pass anyway. And in fact, this is what a friend of mine was saying, that he was just fed up. He was just tired of life. And I had to speak to him, and I'm still speaking to him. And I'm just like, you know what? You have so much to offer. This is an experience that you will never find again. This will never, unless you believe in reincarnation. Um, we'll never experience this beauty again. This is something that is, it's a gift. It's a real gift. And so, on saying that, this is the reason why I decided to, create the Voice of Healing, because I know certainly, especially, and if you can relate, please just leave a comment. Just leave a comment. COVID times was extremely challenging for myself and families all around the globe. Um, and it was so stressful in every sense. You had loved ones who was passing, and you had all this propaganda going on, and nobody knew what was going on, and jobs were being lost, and people had been told to stay inside, and all this kind of, just adrenaline, cortisone, norepinephrine, all this adrenaline rush was just overwhelming many people. Families were having to go at each other. So, I think we are not in a position now where we can say, we've weathered the storm. I don't think we've got to that position, and so I feel we're still feeling the repercussions of that happened, and it's crazy. And now there's something else kind of going on at the moment, which is, which is again, we got to try to see a pattern. They got this thing called a Nipah virus apparently in India, and there's been a few cases there, and so just be careful and just keep your head and keep grounded. And I think this is what the Voice of Healing really likes to do, because if you're the kind of mindset of myself, which is it's kind of ADHD, Asperger's kind of predicament that it's not. I wouldn't even say it's even a disability. It's not. I think it's a real gift for you guys as well. So just bear in mind, guys, that this is a gift for you. That you have that mindset, that you have that perhaps concentration, that ability to really, when you focus on something, when you're lucky enough to have something, you're on it like for days, for hours. Hours just go by, and you're just like, I love what I'm doing. I enjoy it. So if you're ever like that kind of person, just let me know. But a lot of the guys at the moment, as we see, they suffer from anxiety, that heart palpitations, anticipation of a doom, of dread, something happening really, detrimental to their health, to their ego, to their well-being, and really a lot of it is not even as they perceive it to be. And I'll tell you a little story. I was doing a casting for a show, and I did the casting. They filmed. There was a few people. The panel was sitting there, and it was really close to my face. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is quite intimidating. I haven't done this in a long time." And they said, "Okay, well, 3, 2, 1, and go." And they started asking me questions, and I thought I did so bad. I thought I was stumbling over my words and things of that nature. And it was just like, "Oh my god, this is really bad." And then when they showed us the recording, it was not as I expected. It really was not as I expected. And so I just want to give a little word of encouragement to you guys. It's never as you expect. It's never seen as you think it is. You may feel you've done bad in, in a social situation. You may feel that, oh my God, these people must have felt really embarrassed, but it's never as bad as you think it is. And so we have a teaching framework here, and it's I like to consider myself not toxic masculinity and all that kind of stuff, but I consider myself to be a strong masculine male who respects everyone. Certainly, respect my family, my wife, everything, my daughters, of which I am blessed with no boys. But we want men who are overwhelmed to be able to connect with us, and just to say, I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling like this, and it's not a nice feeling, and I don't know what to do, and I don't have any older siblings. I don't have any elders that I can connect with and say, it's okay. Listen, I've been there. I've been 50. I've experienced, stress. I've experienced high blood pressure. I've experienced that. And so, this is the place for that. This is where it's a safe space. And I just want to say that we also are offering the Voice of Healing, the Men's Wholeness Blueprint. Okay. And that is for men who would like to come together. It's nothing to do with intelligence. It's nothing to do with who, how successful you are, because we've seen many people from drug addicts to alcoholics. And, in fact, there was a guy that we used to, work with, and he lost his wife, and he was a successful business guy, and he ended up drinking, and to a point where he couldn't stop, and it was just really, really detrimental to his health. And we sat at the table and for a meal, and he was obviously withdrawing, and he was shaking, and the odor was so intense. And so there's people like that, that we want to let them know, men like that know that, listen, you are not alone, and it's the truth. You are not alone. You're not the only one who feels that way. And so, when your nervous system speaks louder than your mind, we have to always know that, we got to physically deal with this, right? And so we deal with things like grounding. You put your hand on your heart, just feel your beautiful heart. This is, for example, what we do. We hand on your beautiful heart and one on your stomach, and you just feel your heartbeat. Just feel your heartbeat and make that connection, because this has been around since you were born. This has known you for so long. It's known you all your life, and and so you speak to it. You say, I love you, man. Heart, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for beating so coherently. Thank you. I'm so grateful. And then you breathe in for 4 seconds. And out. As you breathe in love, breathe in good things. Just breathe it in, take it in, like you would take in, the forcefully fed media, or TikTok or Instagram and things of that nature. You forcefully take this in: love, kindness, joy, gratitude. Oh my God, when you're grateful, it shows that you are anticipating something wonderful to happen. You're anticipating for that. Oh my God, really? Is that going to happen? I'm so grateful. Oh my God, bring it on. Yeah, you breathe in and breathe out. And you do that until you get into a place of just like, that awareness, that present moment where you're just like, okay, I'm here. I'm in a bubble. I'm protected. There's no harm. Right at that particular moment is what we believe is gold. It is gold. It's absolutely gold, because nothing can harm you in that particular moment. It doesn't matter if you've got bills or, upcoming things and situations like that. Right at that present moment, you are safe. You're in that place. And so we like to try to encourage the young men to adopt that kind of mindset, that kind of routine, if you like, of which we're going to be offering the Men's Wholeness Blueprint, where, guys, you should really join, and you can also have a one-on-one with myself as well. And believe me, guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't have a PhD or anything like that, but I have had so much experience. And then a lot of the times, when a person is learned to such a degree, they are so, again, programmed in one way of thinking, whereas the lateral thinkers are guys who want to break through with possibilities. This could happen, guy. You know what? You're feeling like this now, but what if this? Yeah, but it hasn't been proven scientifically yet. But you know what? Let's just try this. Trust yourself. You are a miracle in your own right. You know what I mean? And so, in saying that, also I did study psychology for 2.5 years, and I pulled out. It was too much for me. We was in Germany at the time. It was a very difficult time for myself. I was doing a show, Starlight Express, if you remember, if you ever seen that in the Apollo in London. I was the old train. My wife calls it the old fart. So I was the old train. But there's going to be many things where, we do a cold water reset, where you just relax your vagus nerve, you planting your feet, solid on the ground, feeling the earth, just appreciating. Again, it's awareness. It's all to do with awareness. When you're in a situation, we reenact the situation. How would you visualize that situation where you would be calm, as opposed to be like, oh my God, I'm everywhere. Your mind's everywhere. You're in this panic mode and fight, flight, or freeze mode, and you're just in this moment of pure peace and pure assurance that I'm here, I matter. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't meant to be. So there's many things, guys. I want to just I wrote a song just off topic, and it's called, and I wrote this song when I was going through a very, very challenging time, when I lost my father about 6 years ago. And I wrote this song called Milk and Honey. And I'd like for you guys to hear and check it out and tell us what you think. Just enjoy. It's called Milk and Honey, guys.
Yeah. Got a situation on the line. Got a situation. She's always on my mind. Looking back when you cried. Never really felt it on my mind. Nobody can take away so much of your pain. Everybody knows that you're special, and you know. You better find you. We got a situation going on, yeah. Baby, when you roll, such to let you flow. Nobody knows how you feel when you're home. Nobody can take away your flow, your glow. You just wanna go to the honey land, and nobody can take away your pain. Only you know, 'cause you feel it every day, it's your role. You gotta let it go. Crying every morning, every day I'm yawning. Work is so boring. Got up in the morning. Everybody wants to love you. Don't know what to do. Every night is on my mind. I think about you all the time, and nobody knows how you feel when you're home. Nobody can take away your flow, your glow. You gotta let it go to Belton on the land, and nobody can take away I let go.
So, guys, that's was called Milk and Honey, and for me, that was a real track that I wanted to play because for me, that meant that my father, it was not all gone, and you know, life does go on, and appreciating everything that just life has to offer. I particularly um, really I'm a very spiritual person, and to be honest with you, I love being in the spirit because it makes sense. It makes sense when you see people committing heinous crimes, horrible things, and then you ask yourself, well, why? It doesn't make any sense. Why are these people committing such heinous things? They've obviously been thinking about it over and over again, or it could have been a genetic thing. It could be again, epigenetic. It could be any kind of trait. We're so incredibly perfect, but also imperfect. And there's many things, guys. But like I say, for me, what's really important, guys, is when men come together, when us as men can come together, and we bring forth, what's really important, which is aligning our minds, coming together and saying, you know what, we can handle this. Yeah. We're not overwhelmed, although we may be. You may be overwhelmed, guys, right? And that's okay because you're alive. And I feel that once you're alive, if you place that structure within your life, because like me, my mind goes a million miles an hour. And so there's many things going on. There's so many ideas. It's incredible the amount of ideas I have. It's incredible, right? But as I say, with the teaching that I bring, and I believe it really does work because I was a wreck like 6 years ago. I was a wreck, right? And I was earning money, but I was a wreck. And we like to teach the men direction, you know, not softness, right? I want to teach men to be, strong but sensitive. You know what I mean? Be able to transmute negativity into positiveness. Do you know what I mean? A masculine man, not toxic, but a man who loves life, loves creation, loves his family, loves the women around him, respects the women around him, and things of that nature. And so the world wants men really in survival mode is how I feel. I feel they want the men in the survival mode. They want the men to be in a position where, we're worried about someone thinking that, we're being a misogynist or we're sexist or we're doing this, we're doing that. And to be honest with you, no one can tell the intentions of a person. You can't tell the intentions, right? Some people may say something that may slip up, that may sound, normal from where they come from, and then all of a sudden they're in another space, and these people are just super sensitive. We don't want that. We want to respect people, but we want men to really come together and to teach them to slow themselves down, and make the right choice. And I'll tell you, the right choice really is joining this Men's Wholeness Blueprint. You will really enjoy it, men, when you come in with a one-to-one with myself, Carl Ellis, And you will have a lot of fun because you'll realize that you are certainly not alone. And there are other men like you who are open to talk. And I tell you what, it's gold. I want to wish you guys a beautiful weekend, a real beautiful weekend. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And if you like, please leave a comment. And if you like, the normal thing that people say, you like, subscribe, hit the like button, whatever you do that, and be blessed, guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day and a weekend, and truly be safe. Okay, God bless you all. Peace, love, and harmony. Yours, Carl.
Yeah. Got a situation